He left home for work and never returned. The front door closed at exactly 6:42 a.m. The sound was ordinary, the kind no one remembers. Thomas Reed kissed his wife on the cheek, picked up his lunch bag, and said he would be home by 6. It was a promise he had kept for 12 years. That morning, nothing felt different, but it was the last time anyone ever saw him. Subtitle: A normal morning that ended in silence. Thomas Reed was 41 years old. He lived with his wife Karen and their teenage son in a quiet working class neighborhood in the United States. Thomas worked as a maintenance supervisor at a distribution warehouse about 30 minutes from home. He was reliable, careful, and known for never missing a shift. That morning, he wore his usual blue jacket and work boots. He left early because he wanted to stop for coffee. Karen watched him pull out of the driveway. His truck turned the corner and disappeared. He never arrived at work. Subtitle: The Man Who Never Showed Up. At 7:30 a.m., Thomas's supervisor called Karen. He asked if Thomas was sick. Karen laughed and said no, he left early. By 8:15 a.m., the laughter was gone. Karen tried calling Thomas. No answer. His phone rang and rang. By noon, panic set in. Karen drove the route Thomas always took. She checked the coffee shop. The cashier remembered him. Thomas had ordered his usual black coffee at 6:55 a.m. He looked normal, calm. He left alone. After that, there was nothing. Subtitled: The Last Confirmed Sighting. Police were contacted that afternoon. At first, officers treated it as a missing adult case with no signs of danger. Thomas had no history of disappearing. He had no known enemies. His bank accounts were untouched. His credit cards showed no activity after that morning. Then came the first twist. At 3:18 p.m., Thomas's phone sent a signal. It pinged near an industrial area miles away from his usual route. The signal lasted only seconds. When police arrived, they found nothing. The phone went silent again. Subtitle: A signal with no source. That evening, Thomas's truck was found parked behind an abandoned warehouse near the same industrial area. The keys were still in the ignition. The doors were unlocked. His lunch bag sat on the passenger seat, untouched. Inside was the sandwich Karen had packed. There were no signs of a struggle, no blood, no fingerprints of value. It looked like Thomas had parked and stepped out for just a moment. Subtitle: A truck that waited for a driver who never returned. Search teams moved in quickly. Dogs tracked Thomas's scent from the truck to a nearby gravel road. Then it vanished. The road was used by delivery vehicles and trucks. If Thomas got into another vehicle, it could have been anyone's. Why would he leave his truck behind? Subtitle: The question no one could answer. Investigators began looking into Thomas's life. At work, coworkers described him as quiet but friendly. He had recently complained about strange things happening at the warehouse. Tools moved, doors unlocked that should have been secured. He once joked that someone was messing with him. At home, Karen remembered something else. For weeks, Thomas had been checking the locks at night. He said he felt like he was being watched. She thought he was just stressed. Subtitle: Warnings that sounded harmless. The second twist came when police reviewed security footage from the industrial area. One camera captured a figure walking near Thomas's truck around 7:12 a.m. The image was blurry. The person appeared to be wearing a jacket similar to Thomas's, but the figure walked away from the truck, not toward it, and Thomas was never seen again. Subtitle: A shadow on camera. Days turned into weeks. Flyers went up, volunteers searched fields and drainage areas, nothing was found. The case began to cool, but Karen refused to let it fade. Then something unexpected happened. Subtitle: The phone call. 2 months after Thomas disappeared, Karen received a call from an unknown number. When she answered, she heard breathing. Slow, heavy. She said Thomas's name. The breathing stopped. The line went dead. Police traced the call to a disposable phone purchased with cash. It led nowhere. But it proved one thing: someone knew Karen's number. Subtitle: Someone was watching the family. Investigators revisited Thomas's workplace. They learned about a recent argument Thomas had with a contractor. The argument was heated. Witnesses said Thomas looked scared afterward. The contractor was questioned and denied any involvement. His alibi checked out. Another lead vanished. Subtitle: Anger with no evidence. The third twist came from Thomas's bank. A small cash withdrawal had been made 3 days after his disappearance. It was done at an ATM miles away from where the truck was found. The camera footage showed a man wearing a hood, face hidden, Police could not confirm it was Thomas, but the withdrawal meant someone had his card and knew his PIN. Subtitle: A withdrawal that raised more questions. Karen struggled to understand. Thomas never shared his PIN with anyone. He was careful, organized, predictable, unless someone forced him. The idea terrified her. Subtitle: The fear no one wants to imagine. As the investigation dragged on, rumors spread. Some believed Thomas walked away from his life. Others whispered about criminal activity near the warehouse district. Police found no evidence of either. Then, nearly a year later, a construction crew made a discovery. Subtitle: A piece of clothing. A blue jacket was found buried near a drainage site not far from the industrial road. Karen identified it immediately. It belonged to Thomas. The jacket had no damage, no blood, no signs of a struggle. It had been folded neatly. That detail stunned investigators. Subtitle: Folded, not discarded. Why would someone take the time to fold a jacket? The discovery reignited the case. Searches expanded, media attention returned, tips poured in again. One tip stood out. Subtitle: The anonymous letter. Police received a letter with no return address. Inside was a simple message written in block letters. He got too close. There was no signature, no explanation. The letter was postmarked from a town 2 hours away. Again, a dead end. Subtitle: A message without a sender. Years passed. Thomas's son grew up. Karen kept Thomas's side of the closet untouched. Every sound at night made her look toward the door. In 2020, new investigators took over the case. They reviewed everything from the beginning. They noticed something missed before. On the morning Thomas disappeared, a security gate near the industrial area was opened at 7:05 a.m. It required a code. Only employees and contractors had access. Someone with inside knowledge was there. Subtitle: An insider detail. That discovery changed everything. Police quietly re-interviewed people connected to the warehouse. Old names resurfaced, old tensions returned. But before any arrest could be made, another twist appeared. Subtitle: The final clue. A hiker found a damaged phone in a ditch miles away. The serial number matched Thomas's phone. The battery was missing. The SIM card was gone. Someone had tried to erase him. Subtitle: Erased, but not forgotten. Today, Thomas Reed is still missing. His case remains open. His family still waits for answers. Did he uncover something he wasn't supposed to see? Did he trust the wrong person? Or did he step into a moment that changed everything? The truth is still hidden, and somewhere, someone knows exactly why Thomas Reed left home for work and never returned. Subtitle: Someone always knows. As this story ends, another mystery begins, because the industrial area where Thomas vanished has been linked to another disappearance years later, and that story is even darker.